Randy McKee here at Hockey 605, and we're here to do the second day wrap up here at the South Dakota Varsity Boys State Tournament. I was thinking today there's one guy that this show couldn't do without, and that's not me. It's Coach Donovan Peterson, who's been with us at the girls varsity, now at the boys. Really do appreciate you coming back time after time, Donovan.
Thank you.
And we have a special guest, Joe Deptula, with the Billings Bulls. He's an A junior hockey assistant coach there at Billings, and he's here looking at players today. So thanks, Joe, for sitting in with us.
Yeah.
Kind of a day of blowouts and excitement. We started this morning, with the Sioux Falls Orange team against Watertown. That really was not a very pretty game. Watertown, I think, won like 8-0.
Yeah, and that's, after watching yesterday's games, if you would have asked anybody, that's probably how that game should have ended up. I mean, Watertown was a way better team than the Sioux Falls team was really young. I mean, by looking at them, you would say that, they look like they're really young and inexperienced. Watertown was just too much for them.
And, they were Watertown, I think, kind of came out like a nest of hornets that got, some upset yesterday, because they came out and played like they had something to prove today.
Yeah. After they played, it was a 5-4, well, it ended up being a 6-4 game with Rushmore, who would come back and beat Brookings tonight. And it was a close game all night with them, with Rushmore and Watertown, and obviously they came back with the same intensity that they had in that Rushmore game, and it showed against.
Yeah, they looked really good. And then on the other side of the bracket, we looked at Aberdeen and Mitchell, and I think this was the first game so far that the lower seeded team won.
Yep.
And Aberdeen came out. Mitchell came out early. They got a couple goals up. Aberdeen kept scrapping and fighting, and came from behind and won it 5-3.
Yeah, and this is the first time they've played on Sunday in quite some time. So that was kind of a feather in their hat for them.
So tomorrow we're looking at Watertown Aberdeen. I think if Watertown shows up with the same kind of intensity that they showed up with today, they're going to be difficult to handle. But Aberdeen's got to be looking at a pretty good high today.
Yeah, they had one guy that sat out today with the game misconduct, but they'll get him back tomorrow, so he'll have good fresh legs, and he's a senior, and I know he'll have a lot of stuff to play for. So.
Yeah, well, it should be a good game. It looked to me, in the last two games I've seen Aberdeen play, they are not shy at all about bringing the physicality of the game up. But Watertown can match that any day too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the winner's side of the bracket then. The earlier game, Milwaukee played that Sioux Falls blue team. That was the big victory by Sioux Falls. They just started scoring early, and they just kept scoring through the match.
Yeah, after watching Milwaukee yesterday and watching them against Mitchell, and obviously both these semifinal championship games today were blowouts, but not the way you would have thought they were going to be. But yeah, I was impressed with Sioux Falls. They came out hard, and they played hard the entire game, and they were really, really fluid and really looking good.
I don't know what you thought, Joe, but in watching that Sioux Falls blue team, I thought that of all the teams here, I thought they probably used the ice better than most of the other teams. And we were talking before the game about Milwaukee likes to defend.
Yeah.
And we thought that we were wondering if Sioux Falls could get them out of that, and they really did.
Yeah, they did a great job of spreading out the ice and really using it all and making Ohio or whatever. Hawaii.
Yeah.
Pronounce it, however you pronounce it, but they made them really have to move out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
But they definitely exposed their flaws.
Yeah, they did, and that first goal was a long, hard shot, just top shelf. That's the kind of goal that just pumps everybody up. Well, except the team that gets it scored against them. Okay, then the other side, we just watched this. The packed house, Brookings on their home ice, big, enthusiastic home crowd. Rushmore, brought some fans too, but I think everybody in this building, except the Rapid City people and maybe a scattered few others, thought Brookings could probably take that game.
Yeah, it was. You look at it on paper and kind of the way it's went this year. Brookings is winner in that game, and it just obviously you don't know how Rushmore's going to come out. They played that real close game with Watertown yesterday, and you don't know if it's going to take it all out of them, if they're going to come back and and be able to respond well to that. Obviously, they did, and it was huge. That first goal, that just kind of set the tone. I mean, that they got it, and that just got them pumped up, and they took off right where they left off yesterday. So,
I'm assuming, and I'm not coming from a knowledgeable hockey position, but I'm assuming, when we take a look at Brookings, which is a very skillful team, I mean, they have two lines that are very skillful. In a lot of other skill sports, when you bring up the physicality, a lot of times it'll negate that skill, or at least, take that skill advantage away. Did you see that way today?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what I saw is, you always try to preach to your players that hard work beats skill every day. And honestly, Rushmore was relentless. They worked hard, they blocked shots, they bought in. That's everything that you want in a successful team. They didn't try to do it all themselves, and you could tell towards the end Brookings, was trying to make that perfect play, or trying to have one person skate all the way down and do it all himself instead of working as a team. Whereas Rushmore, their team defense was unbelievable.
It was good, but what I was looking at, Brookings had enough chances to win the game.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Taryn Tucker in goal for Rushmore, he came up big time after time after time.
he was huge, and his defensemen were taking the puck. I mean, they were laying in front of him, and they get it out of there. They cover it, they block it, did whatever they had to do to get it out of there. And, that's what you need. I mean, they obviously kept Brookings from getting anything in. So
yeah, and I think they just epitomized a team that everybody on that team gave it up today. They did what they needed to do to get to that championship game, and there they are.
And what I noticed, what Joe said, Rushmore did what they needed to do to take the speed factor away. Because I mean, they were on him. They get the puck, they were on him, they were bumping and grinding, and they didn't have a chance to use their speed to get around him. They were on him quick, knocking him off the puck, and with a smaller, faster team, if you can't get around them, you lose the puck. They kind of took them off their game. They couldn't get their passing game going because they couldn't hold on to the puck long enough. So
I was talking to Coach Novak a little bit earlier, and I said, yeah, you guys, I mean, they brought the physical game, and he said, well, I'm trying to get him to play more physical.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he said, we didn't give them too many power plays, and especially didn't give them any dumb ones, and that was a big difference for them. So, in that third place game tomorrow, we have Brookings against Oahe. We were here a few weeks ago when Oahe was the only team up till today that beat Brookings this year, and I mean, Oahe came out and they brought it that game, and we'll have to see what they have tomorrow, but everybody remembers, especially the guys who are going to be skating them.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for. I mean, Oahe's going to come back with all the passion. They obviously want to beat them again. They want third place. And Brookings is hard to say who's going to show up. I mean, they were here to win it. Now you got overnight to get them rejuvenated, and obviously they can go out winners or they can go out losers. I guess it's up to them.
Yeah, well, we'll know by tomorrow. And then and I really, as I watched Rushmore and Sioux Falls play yesterday, and then again today, I thought that is a matchup where they're going to give us a show tomorrow, because that's two very good teams. They can both play physical, they can both skate, they can both score. Caleb Anderson with that Sioux Falls Blue team, man, that guy hits the puck. And then he's hitting it at Tucker. Who knows, if he can bring that same kind of quality game tomorrow, but it's a good matchup.
Yeah, Sioux Falls got they got the size. They can play a physical game if Rushmore wants to get into that. It's hard to say who's going to come out on top, but I don't know. It depends on which Rushmore team shows up. Sioux Falls they've played the most consistent from the start of the tournament. I mean, all 2 games up to now they've played very well. It kind of depends on which Rushmore team shows up, I guess.
Well, I just about bet an enthused team that acts like they want to win the game shows up. I mean, that's the team that's been showing up in both games. So it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to see it. Well, Joe, you get around the country and you look at a lot of players. What do you think about what you're seeing here this weekend in South Dakota?
Well, this is my second year coming to this tournament, so I obviously liked what I saw. It's kind of hard to leave my team in the middle of playoffs to come out here, but the season's never over. It's like continuous when you do this for a living. You always got to keep finding new players and thinking about the next year. So, but honestly, this weekend's been great. There's a lot of good players. Definitely still impressed. It's nice being one of the only people here. So I get first choice out of everyone. But,
Yeah, for sure.
but I mean, it shouldn't be that way. Honestly, South Dakota hockey is pretty impressive. Our top player last year is out of South Dakota, so I can't complain. He had 50 points for us.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be anxious to get the Bills following us on Hockey 605 and have you guys be part of the excitement. We really do appreciate you taking a few minutes to sit down and visit with us. Donovan, I can't express my gratitude enough. It's just been wonderful to have you here with all your shows, and I'm hoping that we can get hooked up again next year and do some of the same stuff.
For sure. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you, I guess, the next time we see you. I don't know if we'll bring you a wrap-up show tomorrow. Everybody's going to be anxious to get out of here, but we'll bring you whatever we can. Thanks a lot, guys, again, and thanks for watching Hockey 605.